Hey guys, it's race week now. I'm going to do a big enduro competition this week, and for that reason, I've decided to do a video about enduro racing. And to be exact, I'm going to go through my most successful enduro race, and ironically, that was my first ever enduro race. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll also talk about my second enduro race ever, where I ended up in the water, underwater with my bike, so the bike couldn't start, and I'll talk a bit about how you can avoid this situation. So we're gonna go through my last race with both GoPro helmet cam footage, and then I'll talk about some really cool strategy and race advice that I actually got from an enduro champion from Hawaii. And we'll also talk about how I didn't actually manage to apply this strategy completely. I actually got third place in the race out of 86 riders. And that is even crashing, even losing my way on the route. I lost my way for about 3 minutes. And here you can see all the bikes were lined up right before the race started in the morning. And I was riding the Honda CRF 250R 2008 model. And yes, that is a motocross race bike, not an enduro bike. And here you see me battling with the actual winner of the whole event. He had the number 62. We're just gonna go through the highlights and what you can learn from it. And that way I also hope that I can set myself up for success for the next race by going through all the strategies. Actually, the race went so well that I got my name in the riding magazine of Thailand on the results list. That was pretty cool. Here you can see all the participants. So that's me here. And that's me on the podium, which is basically the same photo as this one, just smaller. And then this is my name on the results list here. This is really good memories to have on the wall. Oh, and of course, we're also going to do a full vlog about my race this coming weekend. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to stay tuned for the next event. And keep watching if you want to learn something about enduro racing. So let's get started. And while waiting at the starting line here, let's go through the very important advice that I got from the enduro champion of Hawaii. His name is Eric Loiter. And he said, the way you make good times in enduro is by not losing time. That means riding mistake-free. So try to ride as mistake-free as possible. That means not riding as fast as you can, but riding as smooth and predictable as you can. Try not to lose time on getting stuck or crashing, and just focus on keep moving and look at the good line. But as you will see, I already crashed within the first few minutes actually, because I was not used to this kind of terrain with a lot of round rocks. But now it's go time, so buckle up folks. Okay, so this is actually a really good learning experience. So if you set a too high starting pace, you could end up like this. And also if you're riding in unfamiliar terrain, such as I was in a place with a lot of round rocks like coconuts or something, they just make your front wheel go out of control, shoot left and right. And then you should slow down and then start at a bit slower pace. And then when you start to get a feel for it, then you can work up the pace to a higher pace later on. Really tricky section here, as you can see. Got stuck and almost went down again. And remember, you cannot see how steep it actually is in the videos, or how rough and big the rocks are and stuff. Okay, so I finished the first stage and I'm speaking Danish on the camera, so that's why I'm translating here on voiceover. And after the first stage, I was top 5 in the timing and scoring, and that is a pretty good start, I think, of the day. I was thinking about being in the maybe top 40 or top 50. So I was extremely surprised and happy to see me on the top 5 list here. And then it was time for the second stage of the race, which was the main stage. And it was 35 kilometers long, whereas the first stage was only less than 10 kilometers or something. So now time for stage 2, and I was lucky enough to have somebody make a video of me. Okay, and here's the stage 2 start from my GoPro camera. So it's the same clip as you just saw, just from the GoPro. And notice here that even though it's an easy section, I don't keep going faster and faster. I'm kind of like get up to a cruising speed and then maintain it. Okay, and here we go into a jump actually, so it's actually nice with a little jump, because as a motocross rider that would be an easy obstacle to get over. And now we're heading into deep jungle single trail, and if I remember correctly, there's a tree trunk right here. Yep, I think we got stuck on it as well. Regarding tree trunks, if they're a little bit wet, make sure you hit them exactly 90 degrees head on, otherwise you will deflect the front wheel and crash. Okay, and about halfway into stage 2, which I didn't have on camera because I didn't record the full event, then I lost my way on one of the trails because I was in the front pack. That means there wasn't that many tire marks to follow. So going on the main trail, there was suddenly a very tiny, almost hidden trail that went into the jungle, which then was the racetrack. And there was a little plastic marker on the side of the road, but I was going too fast to see the plastic marker. So as soon as I discovered that I was riding on a trail without a single tire mark on the trail, it just looked completely new, then I realized, oh boy, I've lost my way. And then that's the good thing about how I applied for this next weekend race that is coming in just 4 days from now. And that is, I applied starting number 50 behind 50 other riders. Well, then I'll have to pass more riders, yes, but at least I'm sure I can see the tire marks and always see the main trail in front of me, and probably also the main line. So I hope that's a good choice. We will see. And there was a guy there that simply was too exhausted to continue. And that's no surprise, because this stage 2 was, as I said, 35 kilometers. And it took me about 1 hour to complete this stage. And already after 10 minutes, you're already exhausted, actually, like in your arms, gripping the handlebars and stuff, because it's pretty technical. But it's also a lot of fun. It was really fun. As soon as I settled into a speed where I was comfortable and I didn't feel like I was getting any surprises, then I was in a good sort of flow. and that's what you want to do instead of trying to push too hard from the beginning. So that's one thing I'm going to try to do different in my next race event, is to not start like at 110%, but maybe like start at 90% and then ease my way up to 95, 97% later on when I feel comfortable. Okay, so I think we're gonna move to watch the video of stage 3. So enough of watching this stage 2 race, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the third and final stage of the race was a motocross event, so to speak, where you were gonna start by running to your bike and kick-starting the bike in my case, and then do, I don't remember, it was 3 or 5 laps around flat track with some jumps and water holes and a lot of turns. It was really fun actually. So here you can see the final race of the day, and actually my GoPro was off on this event. So what you see here is just me filming some of the other riders doing the race, because we were split into groups of 15 riders each race, and because there was 86 total, you know, so they couldn't put out that many riders in a motocross race. So we were also able to watch their races, which was actually fun. Oh, and now it's time to mention water holes and how you don't mess up your bike in water holes. So if you ever drop your bike all the way into the water, under the water, so it gets water into the exhaust, make sure you get all the water out of the exhaust by lifting the front end up before you try starting it. Otherwise you will lock up the engine and you can't start it and you're done. And try to stall the bike immediately if you get underwater. Also make sure that your airbox have water draining holes, so if it gets water into it, then when you pick up the bike, the water should drain out by itself. And lastly, try to keep some safety distance to other riders around the water hole or in the water hole, so you don't drive into each other, because somebody drove into me and he pushed me under the water basically. It wasn't really my fault, so keep distance. But that was in the following year I got pushed underwater, not in this particular race, just for the record, as I talked about in the beginning of the video, okay? This year went really good, and I only had a couple of small crashes. After that, the total timing of each rider were added together to find out the final score and the final total time of each rider. And as you can see, to my big surprise, I ended up number 3 and got my first ever Enduro trophy. This race was actually part of the Thailand Enduro Championship, which was very surprising, and I'm very thankful. It was a really good day and actually a lot of fun going fast, even with a small crash, but it all was without any injuries, so that's the main thing, you know. So now they took some photos and stuff. And this is actually the photos that you will see in the magazine on my wall that I showed in the beginning of the video. So yeah, it's kind of fun to do this little video edit of something that happened so long time ago. It's 7 years ago now, almost 10 years ago, you know, so it's quite a while. So looking forward to get back into enduro racing here. And that's Susan, my wife. She's probably also surprised. And so let's end the video with a couple of good photos from the event. And make sure you give it a like if you liked the video. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because I'm gonna post more up-to-date race from actually next weekend, as you have heard in the beginning of the video. So if you want to stay tuned with that, make sure you subscribe and check my channel. And feel free to share the video as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. If you want to learn more tools and techniques and habits that can improve your life quality and performance and well-being overall, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle and, maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses where I share step-by-step programs on how I develop my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.